Hello and welcome to the 24th episode of the But I'm Knitting podcast. My name is Ramona. I'm a knitter from Toronto, and welcome to my small corner of the crafting world. I'm just going to preface this by saying if you hear any extra noises, like that sound, our roof is being done, and I should have recorded earlier on today, but I got kind of lazy, so hold on. Okay, so our roof is being worked on, and I got kind of lazy, and I know if I don't do it today, I am not going to get this done for the rest of the week, because I'm pretty much busy for the rest of the week, so I'm going to do it now. So, there's no finished objects. Works in progress. I think I may have put on one row of the socks, and honestly, it's not that I don't want to work on them. It's more like I haven't had the time in the past week, so I guess it doesn't feel as bad. We'll see. But what I did do is I cast it on a new project, but I told you guys about it from before. It's the Antler Mitts from Tin Can Knits. I'm almost finished one hand. I'm at the point where I'm doing the decreases for the top. Hold on. Somehow or another. This always seems to happen to me because I don't have, these are size 8 needles, I think, and I didn't have any that were small enough for DPNs to do this, so the cord is really long and it keeps getting tangled up and stuff, which is quite annoying. We'll leave it. So right now, I have made it this far into it, and that far means, guess what? I could have finished it earlier and made it a fingerless gloves, but I didn't. Technically, I could finish it now and call it a fingerless gloves, but this is it so far. That's how far I've made it. Got a thumb free, got my hands done, so I'm working along the back, and then afterwards I will start on the second hand. So that's pretty much what my knitting has been this week. Okay, let's just continue anyways. So I did buy this year, of course I bought this for this week. I told you about the pandemonium hat that I'm planning on doing, and well, I did have some of the yarn, I didn't have it all, and I was in Walmart and I needed headphones, and while I was there, well, I got yarn. I actually got Red Heart, surprisingly enough. I usually avoid that like the plague. Sorry, hold on. So, what I got so far was this black color, which is just called black. Yeah, I turned it the right way. So, black. I got, is that right? No, that's upside down. Caribbean blue, or is it just called Caribbean? I'm not sure. I have old headphones hanging off of yarn. I got Atlantis. That was a pretty color. Looks a bit more greener in person. I don't know how it looks to you guys. I can't even tell. And then the last one I got, I would just call it white, but they call it cream. So, those are my purchases yarn-wise for the past week. But that's not the only thing I bought, because I didn't realize till I started knitting my projects, I don't seem to have any size 6s free. I may have made a complaint about that last week or the week before. So, I bought myself a couple. And since my plan is to use these for hats and mittens and that kind of stuff, regular cheap metal ones will probably do me just fine. So that is all that I did for purchases, with the exception of one major purchase. Last week, I realized that since I have like no yarn, like maybe like a couple skeins left from my last purchase of undyed yarn, that I was going to need to buy more. And lucky for me, one of my friends' husband does that even sound like a proper statement? He works at the place close to where I can get the yarn as opposed to having to order it online and having it sent to my house. So this morning she came and she picked me up while we're going to go pick up her husband, and I got my box of yarn. So I have 20 skeins of undyed yarn sitting in my room waiting to be dyed up, and I'm excited. There's 2 of them that I'm going to be doing tonight. And then, yeah, because I actually sat down there. I decided to treat myself to Harvey's Canadian burger place. If y'all don't know, good place. I love it. So I sat down in Harvey's after eating my food. I stayed there for like an hour and a half, just plotting out potential colorways, going over some of the stuff that I had come up from before. So there's only one that I'm going to be trying to redo that I already did before, but I'm going to be trying to use a little bit of a different method to do it to see how that turns out. But from before and on my iPad, I've had a listing out of colorways that I've wanted to do. So like every time I think of it, I pull out my iPad and I'm like typing on my little notepad application, and I've come up with like different ones that I've wanted to do. So I'm going to really try them. So 2 of them, well, a few of them I'm really looking forward to doing. The one that I'm going to be redoing again is Vintage Tea, the Electric Mayhem one. I love that one. So I'm looking forward to doing that one again. But that's going to be one of the last ones I do, because based on my time that I have coming up in the next week, it's going to take more time than I really have right now. I'm going to be doing another one that has the heat wave colors in it, but it will have something else with it to see how well that one turns out. That will hopefully be done. And then the other ones, okay, you know what? I'll just name them off for you as to the ones I want to do. And hopefully next week I'll actually have the yarn to show for it. So one of them is called a mushroom. I don't know if anybody watches, hold on. Okay, I don't know if anybody watches 10,000 Stitches, Andy from 10,000 Stitches. She was talking about a dyeing technique that actually sounded pretty good. It's about resistance dyeing, and I've thought about it before, but I never really thought about new applications, and that's pretty much what she gave me, which was like a new application. So I'm going to be trying 2 colors, both based on the color, well, no, one's called Mushroom, so the first one is called, first one is called Mushroom. It's going to be gray and overdyed with brown. The other one that I'm going to be doing, I wrote down Grello, but then I remember when I thought of this color the first time, I realized there's going to be a bit of a problem understanding the way the color works, because both green and gray start with the same first 3 letters, depending on where you live. So the funny thing is, I'm going with gray and yellow. So therefore, I'm going to be calling the color Graylo. So it's more specific as to exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to do one of each of those ones. So I got all the stuff set up, and I just have to actually put together the dye stock, but I think most of it's done for that. It's not going to be too hard. The other colors that I'm going to be doing, that I want to do, is one called Cisco, based on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I'm a very big fan of Star Trek, and Star Trek Discovery is coming up, and I'm kind of excited. So I'm going to be doing 2 skeins of 2 Star Trek based skeins. One of them is called Cisco. The other one is called I Am Not a ... I'm so looking forward to doing that one, because as soon as I thought of doing something based on Star Trek, and I was going to be doing something with the original series, there has to be one based on, not necessarily based on Dr. McCoy, because my problem is that I was going to be doing it based on the uniform colors, and Spock and McCoy wear the same colors. So it's like one of those, I wasn't quite certain how I was going to do it, but there will be one called I Am Not a ... That one's going to be on a Stelina base. I don't know why. I think because I was thinking of like 60s base sci-fi type of thing. I don't know. It was just the color that I picked for it. Okay. The next 2 that I'm going to be doing, there's only going to be one of the I Am Not a, because I only have 2 skeins of Stelina, and one of them is designated for my sister because she specifically asked that from me from the very beginning when she found out I was dyeing yarn. So I have to knit her a product out of that, and I'm pretty certain she doesn't want anything Star Trek related. The other two colors I'm going to be doing, the next two colors I'm going to be doing is, one of them is called I'm Going to Call You Skirt. I may have spoken about this one before, but I don't quite remember. So this is the one that's going to have the Heat Wave colorway mixed in with one that I'm going to try later on, but it's a self-striping one, and that takes way too much time to do. So it's going to be half Heat Wave, half Supergirl, so to speak. For the reference for that one, that was from what was it, the crossover for the DC TV universe that they had last October or November. I think it was November. So for the first time, Supergirl got to meet everybody else, and she was introducing herself all happy and bubbly and all that kind of stuff. And she introduces herself to Mick, aka Heatwave, and says, "Hi, I'm Supergirl." He looks her up and down and says, "I'm going to call you Skirt." So I thought that was like the perfect name for that one. The next one I'm going to be doing, which is one I have never talked about before, I've always wanted to do, I'm a very big fan of Pokemon, and so I'm going to be doing one called 658, based on one, I decided I was going to do it based on one of my favorite Pokemon. Specifically for this one is because when I played, I don't know if anybody watches it, but, or not watches it, plays the game or something like that. Okay, back to it. So my favorite Pokemon, not my last playthrough, but from the series before that, was Greninja. I thought he was the best thing since, like, ever. I played with that thing from when I got him at the beginning of the game all the way till I can't even say till the very end, because if anything, I don't even want to restart my game because I can't trade him anywhere yet. So, yeah. So I'm looking forward to doing that one. That one's going to be speckle based, but I think we're going to use a syringe for that one to get the speckles on it, because I'm not going to take a chance that it's going to get completely messed up again like the last time I tried to do speckles. And then the last one, of course, I told you about already, is Vintage Tea. For that one, I'm going to do everything like the same, like the initial stage is the same as how I did before, but then I'm going to do that method that Andy from 10,000 Stitches was talking about to over dye it. So that will be my next challenge. Yeah, so I have to block out my upcoming days, and hopefully, and since I don't have my work schedule for next week, I can't fully decide exactly how I'm going to do everything, so I'm going to try and do it little by little. This time I made it easier on myself, and I got them already skeined as opposed to on a cone, just because of time. So I'm hoping that works out okay. And I think that is it for all of my knitting stuff. Right now, it looks like it says about 16 minutes worth of taping, but with all the cuts I'm going to have to make to this, yeah, probably not. So I've talked about my current projects. I don't think I'm going to be casting on anything new this week, because honestly, I don't have the time to really start anything new. My aunt has started to ask me where the other foot of her sock is, when it's going to be done. And I hadn't planned on letting it sit down on the needles for this long, or not on the needles. The second sock hasn't even been cast on. So I was going to, I have to cast that on eventually, hopefully within the next little while. Also one of the things, the Toronto Knitters Guild meetings are starting up again, and so. And I've decided, since I don't have to be at work like early Thursday mornings anymore, I'm going to go. So that's where I'm going tomorrow night. I'm also going to stop off at Yarns and Tangles and see if they have mini skeins for my shawl. For the Stephen West shawl that's coming up. I did not go through my stash. I can't be bothered to go through my mini skein stash to see if I could find enough. So we're just going to ignore that and just buy yarn. Seems like more fun to me. So yeah, so my day tomorrow is pretty much, because usually for the way that it's been working, usually Tuesdays and Wednesdays I'm free. Today I pretty much took as a lazy day. Wednesday, which is tomorrow, I'm working, and I already decided I was going to be going to the Knitters Guild meeting, so that pretty much takes a good chunk of my day, with the exception of like a few hours in between. But if I go home, then I'm not sure how to leave my house again. So it's like, forget it. I'm just going to be out for the entire day. But then, I think Thursday morning I may have some time to get some dyeing done. I don't remember what's supposed to be happening for this weekend. So Saturday night there might be time. I don't know. Sunday, well, that all depends as to where I'm working. If when I get my work schedule to know for sure. So we'll have to see how this week goes. And yeah, that is pretty much it for me for this week. Thank you for spending your time with me and listening to me blather on about my knitting and dyeing and all of that kind of stuff. I'm hoping that I'm hoping to get almost the entire box of yarn dyed up pretty quickly. I'm hoping to, in a sense, sell some of them in October at something that's happening in Toronto. One of my friends will be selling it on my behalf because I'm not going to be able to actually make it there myself. So we'll see how well that goes. And yeah, we'll just leave it at that. We'll see how well that goes. And yeah, that's really going to be the end of it now. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye.